Yeah, well, we're out in the lobby, ma'am, so I'm allowed to ask questions. I'm a member of the press. You're going to have to deal with it. It's obviously something pretty important. It looks like potentially Mr. Joe may have committed a felony and a gross misdemeanor when he altered documents that elected officials ended up passing on behalf of the district. Hopefully you guys can just keep it down to one felon working for the library system. Hopefully there's no more that pop up and do wacky felonies and gross misdemeanors. No, about Mr. Joe altering the website and board documents that were voted on by elected officials.
I'm aware of the incident.
Is it an embarrassment to work with a seeming felon who's altered records of public officials? As the Business and Compliance Officer for the Pierce County Library System, does the Director and Board of Directors, trustees, have confidence in Clifford Joe in maintaining compliance with regulations, etc., in light of his been caught fabricating and altering public records, which in Washington State is a criminal act? Is he the Public Records Officer, ma'am? Why did you apologize in a letter to Mr. Goads? Hey everyone, I am free. It's November 13th, 2024. I am in, well, just outside of the city of Puyallup, but technically just kind of out in the country right now. I am heading over to that building right over there, which is the Pierce County Library System, because they have had a very interesting issue come up over the last few months where a man by the name of Clifford Joe, who styled himself as the public records officer for the library district, lied. He was caught in a lie. He's the business and compliance manager, makes the most money of anyone else there. $189,000 a year. Was caught by an individual I know as A.A.M, who helps me out a great amount. So thank you, A.A.M, for all the help that you always do. And was caught lying, saying that he was in fact the public records officer.
Here in a moment, I'm going to provide the evidence that demonstrates an employee seemingly committed a felony and a gross misdemeanor for public records alteration in Washington State. If you are uninterested in this part of the story, you can skip to approximately the 8-minute mark. Just remember, the documents are here at the approximate 2-minute mark if you want to come back later to review the evidence I have put together. All right, let's jump into this and demonstrate why what Mr. Clifford Joe did is seemingly, allegedly, a felony as well as a gross misdemeanor in Washington State. I'm including all the documents here, and I'll be explaining and reading them as we go along. As you can see here from the email from Harold Goads on October 17, 2024 at 5:25 p.m., an email was sent to Director Caserotti, the Public Records Officer, and Clifford Joe. It's titled Public Records Request under RCW 4256. Hello, I shouldn't have to do this because you're supposed to have this posted. What is the name of the Public Records Officer for the library, the pro? And 2, what are the procedures for processing public records requests, including anything internal such as who administers appeals? Thank you. What's important to know here is this is the very first email inquiring about information relating to the Public Records Officer. Now, the following day, Clifford Joe, the Business and Compliance Officer for the Pierce County Library System, who is not the Public Records Officer for the Library District, responds on October 18th at 10:35 a.m. saying, "Good morning, I am the Public Records Officer for the Pierce County Library System. The role is specifically identified in my job description. There are 2 employees who assist in the processing under my oversight. Their tasks include, but are not limited to, monitoring the email addresses for public records, capturing the records requests, etc." What's important here is this is when Clifford Joe lies, and we'll find out that from Director Caserotti in an email here in just a moment. But Clifford did lie. He is not the Public Records Officer, and I can prove it to you by showing the screenshot here for the Public Records Officer listed on the Library District website. And now what we see in this email from Harold Goads on October 18, 2024 at 10:48 a.m. to Clifford Joe, Gretchen Caserotti, the director, and the board of trustees is a question. The designated pro for your library system is Petra, according to your website, but Clifford says he is. What is going on? Harold then cites RCW 42.56.580, which discusses the law surrounding public records officers. Now is an email from Clifford Joe a few minutes later back to Harold Goads, as well as Director Caserotti and the Board of Trustees, saying, "Good morning. It looks like Petra is listed, which wasn't caught during the last round of edits. This will be corrected, and I will confirm that with you as soon as it's done." So this is Clifford Joe right now saying he's going to go alter those documents, and he does. He ends up altering the website, which is a public record, in accordance with RCW 42.56.010, which defines what a writing is, which includes websites. And then he was also caught altering the board policy documents that the board created, the elected officials created, identifying who the public records officer is. And we know this because here in just a moment, I'm going to read the email to you from Director Gretchen Caserotti, where she apologizes for what Clifford did. And before that email happens, this is the second to the last one on October 19th, 2024 at 11:06 a.m., where Harold Goads reaches back out to Director Caserotti and CCs Clifford Joe with a subject line of not running a very tight ship. It says, "Dear Ms. Caserotti, I've had a very bad experience in making a public records request recently. A completely bad response, initially with no indication of who was responding, no name given. You legally are required to name who the pro is and post it. This is a matter of accountability. And then I found you had incorrect information on your website, including naming the wrong person, and your official policy had 2 different posted iterations, all smacking of some sort of fraud. This is unacceptable in a taxpayer-funded institution. Libraries should not be about misinformation, in my opinion, and further, libraries should be about accuracy and transparency." And finally now, Director Gretchen Caserotti responds to Harold Goads on October 24th, 2024 at 6:03 p.m., saying, "Thank you for your thorough and critical review of our public records materials and process. We share your interest in upholding the values of transparency and accuracy with the public we serve. On behalf of the library, I apologize and accept responsibility for the confusion regarding the public records officer designation. I have looked into the matter and confirmed the pro authorized by the board in our public record policy is the official authorized designee. I have directed staff to restore the current board-approved policy and correct information to our website. Petra McBride, Manager of Executive Office Administration, is the designated pro." So what we're seeing here is Director Caserotti admitted the board policy and
Changed the website and changed board policies
Clifford Joe
to
altered
make
them.
it a
That is altering a public record, and that is a violation of RCW 40.16.010, which is a Class C felony in Washington State if convicted for altering, concealing, or destroying a public record. He altered it without permission, as we can see, because Director Caserotti apologized about that. So what we're seeing here is seemingly, allegedly, a serious issue of a business compliance manager not complying with the law, and in fact breaking the law, seemingly so.
Hello.
May I help you?
Yeah, I'm just here for the meeting.
Okay.
Great. Excuse me, you're Petra McBride, is that right?
Pardon?
Are you Petra McBride?
I am.
Hi, my name's Steve. I had a few
Hi,
questions
Steve.
for you before the meeting begins. You're, just to double check, you're the public records officer? Out of curiosity, going back to October 17th with Mr. Clifford Joe, do you know what led to that scenario playing out where a citizen by the name of Harold Goads ended up reaching out, trying to get some information, and ended up seemingly catching Mr. Joe fabricating his position with the district, changing board documents, altering the website, and effectively altering the public record. Do you know what led to Mr. Joe doing that?
I do not know what led to Mr. Joe doing anything.
Gotcha. So are you aware of it?
I'm aware of the public records request, yes.
No, about Mr. Joe altering the website and board documents that were voted on by elected officials.
I'm aware of the incident.
Gotcha. Is Mr. Joe still working for the district?
Yes, he is.
Gotcha. Can you comment on anything that was done in terms of him acting in that manner and effectively, almost seemingly usurp your position, at least on a temporary basis?
I can't comment on any
Are
of
you
that.
interviewing?
Thank you.
Are you interviewing her?
I'm asking her questions.
So is it a media interview?
Just asking questions.
Okay. Well, we're just about to start our board meeting.
Yeah.
So if you have a media interview, we'd be happy to get your information and then reach out to you afterwards so that we can get our meeting started on time.
Gotcha. Yeah, we still got a few minutes, so I was just asking some questions. I'm assuming you're Gretchen?
Excuse me. Yeah, it sounds like those are like media interviews. And we do have some policies, so people like Petra are not our authorized spokespeople to speak with the media.
Oh, sure,
So
obviously
I'm just
she-
checking, because
yeah.
I'm not familiar with you like I am some of the other reporters. in
Yeah,
the
she
area.
obviously doesn't have to comment, but at the same time,
Right.
it's obviously something pretty important. It looks like potentially Mr. Joe may have committed a felony and a gross misdemeanor when he altered documents that elected officials ended up passing on behalf of the district. And that's a pretty serious thing, at least what I got from these emails from Harold Goads.
Yeah.
Are you familiar with Mr. Goads?
So, sir, if you have, again, we're going to be starting board meetings, so this
Sure.
is our primary focus right now, is to conduct the business of the library as required by law. Those are accusations against a public employee, and we have some proper channels that we could help you with those. This is not the time for that.
Oh, I won't interrupt the meeting.
I understand,
Yeah, that's why I'm asking
but we're
questions
trying to get ready
beforehand.
to start it.
Sure, that's
So-
fine.
And those are
Whenever it starts.
accusations against a public employee.
Yeah.
Again, we have channels that we can help you with that.
Yeah,
This is
I
not
do
the
plan on
forum for
reaching
that.
out to the Pierce County Sheriff's Department to see if they have any comment about that
Okay.
and providing them with that. But I just wanted to see if the
I believe
administration.
my business card is up front
Gotcha.
at the desk there, and as well as some of the other library leaders.
Yeah.
And we'd be happy to help you following the board meeting.
Gotcha. Yeah, and I'll definitely take you up on that. But like I said, I want to just get as much business done as I can before the meeting starts, and then I certainly won't interrupt the board
Sure,
meeting.
that's your business. This is our business that
Sure.
we need to conduct tonight.
Completely understand, yeah, and that's
Good.
why I'll stop at 3:30.
Okay.
Yeah.
So just expect that staff are not necessarily going to engage with you. They're not the right authorities if you're making accusations
Sure.
against a public employee.
Well, I'm asking if that's the case. It
Well,
appears
That's what you said.
there's evidence that seems to corroborate that he did, and I just wanted to see if the
We
library
have
had a.
channels. If you would like to make a complaint legally against a government employee at the library.
Oh, no, I'm here reporting on it. I'm just
So
asking.
you are a
if-
reporter.
I'm just asking questions.
Okay, so then we have a media policy that we'd be happy to follow to engage with you in accordance with our board-approved library policies.
Gotcha, but you're not going to make any comment
Not
about
right now. No, I'm getting
what
ready for
happened
my
there?
meeting.
Gotcha, so no comment for the district?
No gotcha comments tonight, sorry.
No gotcha comments, all right.
And we have Steve, is it?
Yeah,
Steve here in person to make his public comment. If you'd like to come up
Sure.
to the podium.
you bet. Pardon me. Just have questions I want to lodge into the record. What's the 3 minutes, sir?
I'm timing right now.
Okay. Why did Clifford Joe seemingly fabricate to a citizen by the name of Harold Goads on October 18, 2024, 10:42 a.m., that he was the public records officer for the library district? In light of Mr. Joe's shocking claims, corruption and unlawful alteration of public records, why did Clifford Joe state in an email to Petra McBride on May 10th, 2024, that many of these 1A audits are under the guise of public records requests, so you make sense as well? Why did Clifford Joe altered board policy on the library district's website, which is a public record, and as well alter the name of the public records officer to himself, all of which is confirmed by email by Director Caserotti on October 24th? Additionally, why did Clifford Joe alter the policy and pro listing after having been asked specifically by Harold Goads if Petra McBride was the pro? Does Director Caserotti or the board have any comment about Director Caserotti's opinion that First Amendment auditors are often trying to get a rise out of you? Does Director Caserotti agree with Clifford Joe that journalists working on stories seeking public records are utilizing a guise to provoke library staff? Does Director Caserotti stand by her assertion that business and compliance employee Clifford Joe was striving to uphold their obligations under the Public Records Act per the email from October 24th, 2024. As the Business and Compliance Officer for the Pierce County Library System, does the Director and Board of Directors, trustees, have confidence in Clifford Joe in maintaining compliance with regulations, etc., in light of his been caught fabricating and altering public records, which in Washington State is a criminal act? A citizen by the name of Gilbert Salt requested names and rates of pay on January 27, 2024. Mr. Salt was given a response date of February 14th by Petra McBride, PRO. Nothing was disclosed nor any response until October 28th, 2024. Was Clifford Joe involved in that public records request process, or was it Petra McBride? How does the district justify an annual pay of $189,731.92 for Clifford Joe when it's been proven that he altered a public document, according to the director, in violation of RCW 40.16.010? What actions have been taken by the district regarding Mr. Joe's corruption and lies, unlawful alteration of public records? Does Director Caserotti and the board feel that independent investigative journalists such as myself are utilizing tactics as a means to get you to take the bait, her quote, as it were, per Director Caserotti's emails from May 8th, 2024, to avoid exposure by the press to the public? Has the board of directors closed the administrative center to the public based on Director Caserotti's email statement in which she wrote on May 8th, 2024, we know that the local government entities continue to experience these, quote, audits in administrative offices, so it could likely be a matter of time before we have a guest here at the ACE. What is the reason for the closing of the administrative center to the public to unannounced people to arrive to inspect and copy public records during normal business hours in accordance with RCW 4256, Section 90, in light of board policy from a revision on March 13, 2024, which states that the inspection and copying of records is able to be conducted at the library's administrative center during normal business hours? Why is it locked and the public unable to make public records requests in person?
Thank you. 3 minutes is up.
Do you want a copy of your written comments?
I may. I don't know yet. Thanks.
Thank you. Okay, so we'll meet you in the Zoom room.
Hello. Mr. Joe, you got any comments about your email here saying you are the public records officer for the Pierce County Library System?
I don't have
Why did you make those comments, sir?
Yes,
Why
sir,
did you
I'd like to submit a FOIA request to you right now?
Why did you alter the document, sir? Director, do you have any comment about that, about Mr. Joe?
I do not.
Saying he's the public records officer?
I do not.
Is he?
We are going into our closed session.
Is he the public records officer? Ma'am, I'm asking him about whether he's the public records
You're
officer or
welcome to
not.
look at our policy and the website.
Is he the public records officer, ma'am?
Sir.
Why did you apologize in a letter to Mr. Goads?
Is there anybody who can accept it?
Chair, are you going to accept that FOIA, or that public records request? As a,
I can accept it.
you can accept it? Okay.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I have one here for you. I'm trying to make it easy.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. So, do you want me to paint some context of what I'm submitting for?
I believe I don't need context. Oh, let me look that up. Do you happen to know how many days we replied?
Acknowledged within 5 days of receipt, and then they provide.
I appreciate it, ladies.
Yeah, you
Thank
bet.
you. Hope you have a great day.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ms. Anderson, do you have any comment about what led Mr. Joe to actually lie to a member of the public, stating, I am the public records officer for the Pierce County Library System. The role is specifically identified in my job description, to which then he altered documents created and passed into policy by elected officials, altered the website, both in violation of RCW 40.16.010. It's a Class C felony to alter a public record in Washington State. It's also a gross misdemeanor for official misconduct. Do you know what led Mr. Joe to do this? It's pretty shocking because the Director Caserotti then later apologized and said, thank you for your thorough and critical review. On behalf of the library, I apologize and accept responsibility for the confusion regarding the public records officer designation. Was it actually confusion when Mr. Joe said, "I am the public records officer"? That's pretty straightforward. That's a hard thing to confuse. What led him to do that?
Do you have a public records request for me? I have no comment on any of that.
No. I think it's just something of great public interest when someone who gets paid $189,000 a year, he is the highest paid, as far as I can tell from the previous public records request, the highest paid public employee for the library system, and ended up seemingly committing a felony and a gross misdemeanor, altering documents of elected officials and the website. Why would the library condone this? Mr. Joe's still employed here. Has anything been done to address this?
I have no comment. I'm happy to accept a public records request if you have one.
Gotcha. So it's just going to be a stymie. The library system doesn't want to have transparency and accountability?
I have no comment.
So generally speaking, a no comment is just a way to weasel out of actually accepting accountability and giving citizens who elect these board members something to understand as to what's going to be done to prevent this kind of seemingly felonious activity from ever occurring again.
Do you have another public records request you'd like me to process for you?
I'm generally a pretty clear individual here when I am speaking. The magic words did not in fact come out of my mouth of I'm seeking a public records request, of which I am not.
Okay.
But I would like to get some sort of comment. This is pretty outrageous behavior.
So
Can you get one of the board members, or perhaps Director Caserotti, who seems very entrenched in avoiding taking responsibility for this, except for when it's in email that isn't out to the public a lot? It will be soon though.
I have no comment.
No comment.
Is there anything else I can help you with?
Yeah, is it in any way personally embarrassing to you as a member of the library system to know that one of your coworkers seemingly potentially committed a felony? Wow. And then look at this. So the public records request that you just requested, this is how they feel about you and me as journalists. Many of these warning audits are under the guise of public records requests, so you make sense as well. And look who wrote that. Clifford Joe, the guy who lied. And altered documents when he wasn't supposed to.
So many of these First Amendment auditors are under the guise of public records requests, so you can make sense as well.
Yeah, but look at the public records requests discovered.
Yeah, it's a whole packet right there.
Committing a felony, seemingly, lying, altering official public records. I mean, this is shocking, and they're trying to make it seem, of course, Clifford Joe's going to say that naturally. He's like, oh yeah, they're just here to rabble rouse, and it's just all a trick, a ploy, to get public records, but they're just really here to harass us. Sure, you just got caught potentially committing a felony there, Mr. Joe. It's like, yikes. Director, what did you apologize about when you did apologize to Mr. Goetz? Yeah, well, we're out in the lobby, ma'am, so I'm allowed to ask questions. I'm a member of the press. You're going to have to deal with it.
You are. You can ask questions. I'm just not going to answer them right now.
Madam Chair, do you have any comment about this seeming felony committed by one of your employees here at the library? No comment? Is there any accountability here? Or does the library just spend money and not care about transparency and accountability? All right, no comment from the chair. Director Caserotti, what was that apology all about?
No comment.
No comment?
No.
Do you often employ felons when they go and alter public records by your own admission and his?
I can tell you have channels if you're making accusations against an employee.
Wow, no comment there. So that's a pretty amazing lack of response there here, everyone. That was Director Gretchen Caserotti of the Pierce County Library System taking zero accountability for a felony committed here. Ms. McBride, do you have any comment about Mr. Joe having usurped your position?
I don't.
None at all?
No.
Is it an embarrassment to work with a seeming felon who's altered records of public officials? Any comments at all from any member of the Pierce County Library System about this? Were any of you aware of this having happened? No comment?
If there are additional, this is what we use.
Okay. Yep, I'm familiar.
Sir, what's your position here at the Pierce County Library System? Are you an employee?
I have no comment.
Are you an employee?
I have no comment.
Okay, I'm going to submit a public records request to you verbally in accordance with 4414-03006. Are you going to accept it or deny it?
I'm here. I have a public.
I'm submitting it to him.
Okay. Make sure he gets there.
Is there some reason he's not willing to accept a public records request in accordance with the WACs of Washington State? It's any employee. I mean, this just seems to be lock in step with the Pierce County Library System being unwilling to accept responsibility and have transparency regarding serious allegations here.
Now that the meeting is over, I do have to make sure everyone leaves the area.
Well, this is a public area.
Yeah, this is a public area right
The
here.
building is closed.
Gotcha. So are you kicking us out?
Well, I have to, my responsibility is to escort everybody.
Gotcha. So you're just closing
I'm
it
not
down, you're
kick-
kicking us out? Is
No,
that
the
what's
building
happening?
is closed at this time.
Gotcha.
What time is the closing? Is there closing hours?
Is it at 5 o'clock?
No, we have these open by appointment, or you can come in and ask to fulfill a public records
This is a public
request.
building that's open to the public. It's funded by taxpayers' money. As long as it's open
Yeah.
until 5 o'clock, we can be here until 5 o'clock. There's no RCW code that says that we have to leave.
Yeah, I do have a question for you about that too. So RCW 425690, which this gentleman I believe is talking about here, makes it clear you guys have to have availability to the public during normal open business hours, at least 30 to 40 hours a week. So what is the district's position on that? I mean, if you're trespassing me,
I'm not trespassing.
okay, just wanted to make sure.
After the meeting is adjourned, I help people leave the building.
Gotcha.
We're open by appointment. And
So I cannot, I just want to confirm something. I cannot come here during normal business hours in accordance with Section 90 of the Public Records Act and submit a public records request in person here.
You could.
Hey, I do
Okay.
have one other question. Is this open by appointment in RCW code, or is it a policy?
I really will have, I don't know what you're asking me, so.
Okay, well, what's the basis of keeping it close to the public, outside public meetings?
I don't have an answer right now, but I do have this if you'd like to submit a public records request for me.
Well, I wanted to
I'm
submit it
just
to that
doing-
guy, but I mean, I've got the, I've got the stance of the public or the library system here, which is only certain people are going to accept them when it can be submitted to any public employee. I'm also curious again about this availability during open hours though. Like, what is the reason? It seems like it's a potentially anti-homeless decision. The policy that's still currently active for the board, as that member of the public commented at the beginning of the meeting during public comments, said that the library system still has an anti-panhandling policy. How is that in any way a viable stance for the library system to take when that's clearly been ruled on, as the gentleman made clear, at both the state and federal Supreme Courts?
I don't know anything about that, but I can submit this request for if you'd
Is the
like.
library system anti-homeless?
Absolutely not, no.
Then why does it still have a homeless policy or I'm sorry, a panhandling
I
policy?
don't have any.
No comment. Gotcha.
Okay. You mind if I ask another question? Once upon a time, I used to be an inspector, kind of like OSHA, right? Why does that fire extinguisher not have a credentialed certification on the cart? Who's inspecting them?
I'll have to ask and get back to you if you want to leave your contact information.
Will you guys feel safe in this building?
I don't have anything.
Like there's no safety concerns for the building or where you work at?
Right.
Okay. These chemicals that are over here, do you guys have on hand SDS safety data sheets for those?
I don't know what your different desk, but we do have.
Okay. Do you guys, so the staff that work in this building, do you guys have access to a safety data sheet for chemicals that are in the building? Do you have the binder that's readily available for inspection?
I don't have it for you right now, but I can get you one if you'd like.
Well, I mean, it's the law. So
Well, it is just a couple minutes. I'm going to head out, ma'am. I hope you have a good rest of your night. Hopefully, you guys can just keep it down to one felon working for the library system. Hopefully, there's no more that pop up and do wacky felonies and gross misdemeanors. So, unless Mr. Joe wants to come out and has comment.
I'm just gonna start shutting down because we need.
All right, everyone. Well, what a heck of a meeting there. Another journalist here showed up to cover some of these issues, and I just find it remarkable, absolutely shocking, that the library system, the trustees do not have any comment about the seeming felony and seeming gross misdemeanor of Clifford Joe, a public employee for the Pierce County Library System, makes just a few bucks shy of $190,000 a year, and Director Caserotti has no opinion. She apologized by email when it was likely sort of a down low kind of an apology, but thankfully Harold Goads reached out to me and sent me these emails so that I could expose this to the public. This is seemingly the Pierce County Library System tolerating Felony Public Records Act violations by public employees. I'm going to post all these documents in the story so you guys can see them. Obviously, as always, I include contact information in the description. So if you guys want to petition your government to seek redress of grievances, as is your First Amendment liberty, you'll have a means to do so. Or if you want to provide compliments to the staff here, you can do that as well. So that's it. That's it here with me working on this story today here at the Pierce County Library System. It's November 13th, 2024. I appreciate you supporting me and my journalism. It's really windy out. It's getting kind of crazy, the weather here. I appreciate you supporting me and my journalism. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe to that all notifications bell so you guys start the release. You can follow me on X at I.A.M Auditing, on Facebook at Inland Auditing Media. And if you want to help keep my feet on the streets, you know what to do. You can go to the links in the description for Cash App and Venmo. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys at the next location. Bye for now.